Hey, hi, hello, welcome back to archer+Alex. My name is Alex, I am the owner and lead soap maker here, and today we are finally going to be doing our adventures in liquid soap making. So, I know I've teased this video a lot. I've talked about the Fluid Fix hand soap, I've talked about all things liquid soap from TikTok to Instagram to everywhere. So, today we're going to walk through the process of how I create our liquid soap base for Fluid Fix hand. So I'm going to show you how to make the soap paste, I'm going to show you the ingredients that I'm using. It's a little bit of a longer video, but I hope you buckle in and I hope you're excited to see how I make our liquid soap. So if you're interested in seeing how that's done, make sure you keep on watching and we're going to get right into it. Everybody, I'm back and I'm so excited. So as you can tell, some things have changed. We have a new tabletop. Well, not new tabletop. I took some time while I was away to kind of reorganize the studio, and don't mind this. I'm going to pick out another vinyl soon. It seems that rubbing alcohol is not compatible with cleaning this tabletop. Found that out about 15 minutes ago as I was getting ready for this video, but I am back. I am back from break. It was an incredible break. I had so much fun. Spent so much time at the pool. Archer and I went on so many hikes. But today, we're back. So, we're getting into our Halloween era, our Halloween time of year, and I'm super excited because a lot of you have asked and you missed the collection last year. So we're doing Scream Queens Volume 2 again this year, and I couldn't be more excited. So, we're gonna jump right in. Coming back from break, we have a brand new product and we're getting ready to dive into it. So you can see here, I have a container of clear liquid. We're about to get into what that is. And we have our crock pot, if I can get it in frame, probably can't. There we go. Our crock pot with liquids a-melting. So, if you've been around for a while and you've heard me on other platforms talk about what is coming to archer+Alex, we have liquid soaps. So today we're going to make our liquid soap base. So this will be accessible for hand washing. It's a great product for that. It's a great product if you want to use it as shower gel also. Very versatile. It's just a nice like liquid soap. So in this bowl, I have glycerin. So we're doing what's called the glycerin method, which is where we use glycerin instead of water. It's going to create a super luxurious soap. And then right here, we have our alkali. So our alkali for liquid soap is potassium hydroxide. So the first thing we're going to do is little by little, we're going to start adding in our potassium hydroxide flakes into our heated up glycerin. So I'm adding little by little, and we're just gonna mix. And so this might take a good 15 to 20 minutes from the time we start mixing this in until we are ready to add in our lye solution to our oils. Okay, so I think we're in a good spot for that. Let's go ahead and move this over to the side. So yeah, we're a nice, beautiful ambery color. Beautiful, gorgeous. So now what I'm gonna do is we're going to move our crock pot into view. We'll shift the camera this way. We'll scoot you this way. There we go. So what we're going to do is, this is basically like hot process. So we have our oils heated up in our crock pot. This is a crock pot that I only use for soap. I've used it for rebatching, all that fun stuff. So let me go ahead and kind of wipe our spatula clean. So what we're gonna do is add in our lye solution, our glycerin solution over into the crock pot. Our oils are about 150 degrees, which I think is perfect. And then just making sure that our lye solution is okay. And I think it is. Sweet. So let's go ahead and pour our lye solution into our oils. And then we're going to mount up on our stick blender and start blending this to create our soap paste. Okay, so that is what we're looking for. We are looking for little bubbles that are starting to float away. That means that we are done mixing and our soap paste is going to begin to come together. So the oils that I've selected for this soap are actually kind of cool. So we have our tried and true traditional soap making oils we use here at archer+Alex, being our coconut oil, our olive oil, and our castor oil. Those are some of my soap making favorites. But in this soap, I opted to add in high oleic sunflower oil and high oleic rapeseed oil. So rapeseed comes from the same plant as canola, and I get mine from a reputable Bath and Body distributor because sometimes it can contain different contaminants and stuff like that that we do not want in our soap. And so that is what's making up our soap oils. And then we're using vegetable glycerin in this method as well. I'm actually gonna turn this on to low just to make sure. And then we're basically doing hot process method. So we're adding in our lye water solution into a pot of oils, and we're cooking it down in the crock pot. And so this is going to go from this very kind of like thin mixture to almost this honey-like mixture right before our eyes, and that's going to be our soap paste. So that soap paste will then break down, and then we'll begin to add in our distilled water. We'll be using Optithin as the preservative for this. And then when we go to finally bottle this up, we will be using Crowthix, which is a thickening agent, to give this a nice thick consistency, so that it pumps out of a bottle really nicely. So I'm going to babysit this for just a little while, and then I will be back to show you guys what our soap paste looks like as we start adding in our water. Okay, so I am back. I do not have my gloves on because I stepped away for a minute. So I went ahead and I did what is called a clarity test. So it's going to be hard to see from here, but the clarity test is basically showing us how clear our soap is going to be once it's been thinned down with water. So to do that, you mix 1 part of paste with 2 parts of water. So I did 2 grams of paste, we mixed it with 4 grams of water. And then in doing that, we also did a pH test. So our pH test, we came back between 9 and 10, closer to 10, which is exactly what we want. That means that all of our lye has been consumed. We are as close as we can be to a neutral or a based soap. So it still is a little alkali, which is what we want. And then let me show you. And we have great lather. So this was just preliminary lather test in this as well. And it's super silky, it feels incredible. So next steps are, I'm going to go ahead and, Archer and I have to run some errands. So I'm going to go pick up a pail to put our soap paste in. And so then what we're going to do is we're going to start adding in soap paste, or add our soap paste into our pail. And then we're going to start adding distilled water to it to make our final soap. And so to show you what it looks like up close, let me twirl this around like it's some spaghetti. Diva, please. So it is a beautiful amber color. It's kind of translucent. I wouldn't say it really has a smell to it, but it's like a very thick Vaseline consistency, and that is exactly what we want. So when I saw this happening, I was like, oh no, because I'm so used to cold process soap and making solid soap that when it starts doing stuff like this, I'm like, oh wow. As I just smack myself in the chest where the microphone's at. I was like, oh no, what's happening? This is actually normal. This is actually what you want for liquid soap. When I see this happening with solid soap, I'm like puckering, about to start crying, because this is like soap on a stick territory. But this is exactly what we want. So I will be back probably here in a few hours. And then we're going to start adding our distilled water to this, start thinning it down. I'm gonna let this probably sit for a couple of weeks. And then we're gonna be able to start using this in making products. So this is going to be used for, in part, for making some liquid hand soap for the Screen Queens collection. And while this is doing its thing, we're going to get to making our next batch of liquid soap to be more geared towards body. And then after that, our next version, which is going to be more geared towards face. So we'll be right back and I will show you how I'm diluting this down. All right, so we're back a couple hours later. I got a bucket And I learned that you can get buckets that have screw tops. So going forward, that is going to make this whole process so much easier to keeping our soap hygienic throughout these processes. So what I'm actually going to do now is we are going to turn on our scale. Change our mode back to ounces. And then without the lid, we are going to weigh our bucket so we get a tare weight. So 28.55. So I'm just gonna write that over here. All right. So now I have tared that out. We are going to start transferring our soap paste into the bucket. So part of the reason why I got such a big bucket, so this is what, a 3.5 gallon bucket, is because in the future, as I make more liquid soap, we are going to need larger buckets to make this economically make sense, right? So scaling things up. That, and I want to be able to offer this to our friends over at Less is More. So, being able to do larger quantities and make larger quantities and eliminate waste is going to be a huge portion of this. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep scraping this down. We have almost all of it out. All right, we're almost there. So this is kind of like a taffy consistency, or what I think a taffy consistency would be if you were like to pull taffy. Again, I have never pulled taffy in my life, so I don't know why I would equate it to that. But here we are. All right. Keep cleaning this out. We're almost completely out. So you can see that this crock is almost completely cleared out. And you know, we are the archer+Alex school of no waste. So I am making sure to get every single last drop of this liquid, or not at this point, liquid gold. Sappy goodness, I guess. I guess that I would say that would be about the texture of this is like a tree sap, which I live. Okay. I think that's about all we're gonna get out of this, which is fine. All right. So now let me, I dropped some on the floor and I need to like pick it up. Get that in the trash. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's get a weight on this. Good Lord and butter. Okay, let me get my calculator Oh, where did I put it? There it is. All right. Calculator time. Our total weight is 11390, so 113.9. 28.55. So we have approximately 85.35 ounces of soap paste. And then we need to dilute this down with 2 parts water. So let me go ahead and, sorry y'all, I'm like losing my train of thought right as we're doing this. Because this is more of a science. This isn't just beep, beep, boop, boop. I'm making cold process soap. All right, so we have 85.35 ounces of soap paste. So for a 2-part water, we're going to need 170.7 ounces of water. Cool. So what we're gonna have to do is we are going to slowly but surely add our water in. And what I'm wanting this to do is absorb the water slowly into the paste, because I don't want it to be too thin. I can always thin it out more, but to be able to thicken it past the point that I want it, it just starts becoming a big headache. We're having to add in extra ingredients we don't need to. I'm looking for like a thin honey consistency. So what I'm going to do is, let's take our distilled water. We have a gallon right here to start with. And we'll go get this refilled. But of our 170 ounces, let's go ahead and add in some of our water. .15 ounces of water. So I'm gonna write here on my note, 40.15 ounces H2O. So that's our first addition. And I wanna keep track of this because though I keep hearing and I keep reading that you don't need to add a preservative to this, I'm going to add a preservative to this because I feel more comfortable doing so. But the preservative that I'm using is Optithin. It's paraben free, formaldehyde free. It's some pretty cool stuff. So we're going to just kind of mash and break this paste into the water. Alrighty, so we are back, and I went ahead and I diluted this down. off camera for a couple different reasons. So this takes an absurd amount of time. But I know that, we know that that's part of the process now. But now where we're at is that we get to now weigh this mixture, and I get to use the notes that I've made for the amount of water that I've added to this to see where we're at in the process, how much water that we've lost, and if we need to dilute this down any further. So we're going to turn on our scale. Let me get my calculator ready. Okay. Scale is zeroed out. All right, we're at 190.9. So 190.9. Let's go ahead and minus out the 28.55 for our bucket. That leaves us with 162.35 ounces. Let's go ahead and subtract 85.35 of our soap paste. And that leaves us with 77 ounces. So I have added in minus 4.15 ounces of water. That's for our initial water add. And then we added another 30.55 ounces, which gives us 6.3 ounces of water, and I added in 10. So that gets us to, we've lost 3.7 ounces of water, which it happens. This has been sitting in the heat. We've heated this up a few times. Water is bound to evaporate. It is what it is. So for us to get to our 170.7 ounces of water, we're going to need to add in, we're going to need that, so 4.15 plus 3.55 plus 10, and then we're going to add in our negative. So we are down, we have 77 ounces of water, and we need to add 93.7 ounces more. Okay, we can do that. So let's go ahead and start adding in our water. All right, so that's zeroed out at 91.35. So we are going to need so minus 91.35. We're gonna need 2.35 ounces. Okay. So we're gonna add this to our smaller beaker. Beautiful. So we have all of our water added. Let me go ahead and close up these distilled water containers and move these to the side. So we'll go ahead and give this just another mix just to make sure that everything's incorporated. And so this is going to be significantly thinner in this stage than the soap that you would get at, say, like a Bath & Body Works or something like that. So the type of soap that we created, we're going to be able to use products like Crowthix, which is a thickener that comes with its own built-in preservative that's paraben-free and formaldehyde-free. And it's going to give us a little bit of extra thickness to our soap. Because, you know, I like my soap thick, and that's THICK. EUCK. So let's go ahead and give this a mix. And then we're going to let this continue to do its thing. So in this stage, you can see we still have a few chunks of the soap paste. Those will dissolve into this. I'm not worried about it. What I do want to check, let me try to tap that down. What I do want to check right now is our pH. So we should be fairly good still. So when we did our initial testing, good Lord, we were right on the money with where we wanted to be. There we go. Note to self, can't do this with gloves. So I'm going to take our slip, dip it on both sides, tap this off. So the initial test that I did earlier was the same dilution ratio that we are at right now. So we were at a 2-to-1 dilution ratio the first time. Now we're at a 2-to-1 dilution ratio, and we're sitting between 9 and 10, which is perfect. I wouldn't want this to get any more alkaline or any more acidic with what we're trying to achieve. This is going to be a great all-purpose hand soap. I couldn't be happier with it. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Alex in the studio, and we will wrap this video up. It is so weird to be at the end of these videos and have like empty hands, but we shall move on. So I know this video was a little bit longer. I really appreciate y'all sticking through to the end. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down below. That way you can join the Brat Pack family over here on YouTube. In the next video, we're gonna have a little bit more fun. I'm going to actually show you two of our new Fluid Fix hand soaps that are out in the wild right now. So I can't wait to show you, but until next time, make sure you all continue to stay safe, stay happy, and toodles.